Right time, right ride, right now at Horsefoots Automotive. Buy now or reserve for VAT discount days, Friday, December 12th and Saturday, December 20th, and get our lowest rates ever. Plus, enjoy up to $17,000 on select models. No VAT and no down payment. Drive away with finance with Horsefoots and get free bill of sale, free servicing for 12 months, free registration, free tinting, and even free groceries or gas for 3 months. Because the right time is here for the right vehicle with the right deal right now. Visit Horsefoots Automotive right now. Drive smart. Drive Horsefoots. Terms and conditions apply.
Good morning to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, to the regional and international diaspora, wherever you are listening to us, a pleasant good morning. Welcome to today's edition of Island Tea. It's already the 6th day of November in the year 2025. Just to remind you, we're being simulcast on TVC, Channel 40, Facebook, as well as YouTube. On your FM dial, we are 98.9. Just to remind you of our numbers, if you wish to join in on the conversation or bring something pressing to the fore, our local number 466-0989, in the U.S. 1-305-921-4619 or 1-718-285-6984. In the UK, you can reach us at 0333-440065. Good morning, Quint. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine, and you?
Trying to be better than yesterday. A cold is trying to hold me again, but I'm trying to fight it. I do not know from whence it cometh, because I didn't do anything out of the extraordinary, but I guess tis the season for that. And the fact that I had a heavy one already, I don't understand. It seems like this one doesn't go away. It comes right back.
Well, you still look good, so...
You know, we can't, as I tell you already, we can't appear how we feel. We just have to push through it regardless.
Yeah.
I want just to remind the folks this morning of the TDC job fair. That's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So go over there, see Miss Kelly, Miss Marsha, Dominic, and everyone else is representing the various departments for a TDC. So remember the job fair, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And it's in the training room. So you go in through the gates, up the stairs, straight across the hall, make a right. You should see where the training room is, and I'm sure there'll be representation to guide you along. So go out, and for those of you looking a job, you never know, you may be lucky. And remember to dress the part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
Make sure you dress the part. And at 9 a.m. to 9:15 a.m., we have a representative coming in to talk about the big walk on Saturday. That's the walk that supports the children's home. It has gotten bigger. I've not gotten to attend the last one because of work, and it looks like that might be my portion again this year, that I won't be able to make it. But I've done a few. I had my shirts. They can't fit me now, so that's why I didn't wear one to represent this morning. But yeah, I've taken my nephew to two of them, and he's enjoyed them. So hopefully he goes on Saturday with my other sister, and he has the fun that he normally is accustomed to having.
Why can't they fit you?
Because of age, I have put on a little pound. yes, they cannot fit.
I wanted to highlight that because I want you to be aware that where you put on something and you're aware of it, you try to work it back off
Yes.
and stay in
Yeah, I
the
had a
best
good
of
workout
health.
this morning, you know.
Yeah.
I was quite sweaty, so I don't understand if it's because I'm working out and when I'm done hot, I'm going straight to cold showers because I do not like to bathe in hot water. So I do not know if that could be one of the cases why I am feeling the way I'm feeling again, but I'm gonna fight the power, I'm gonna work out, and you know, things come to make you say, well, I don't need to do this now,
Yeah,
I'll do this then. No,
yeah.
I'm gonna fight the fight and I'm gonna do what I have to do because I
Definitely.
need to fit in my shirts.
Mhm.
On the local scene, I see that the St. Peter's Road was commissioned yesterday. You saw that?
No.
Yeah, they had a commissioning of the St. Peter's Road, and Prime Minister mentioned it's only up from here. So the road looks pretty nice. When I saw the aerial view, it's nice and smooth. So for communities that are going to start being erected, especially in that area, they have a lovely road
Yeah.
to traverse on. And I also heard the Prime Minister said people once looked down at St. Peter's. I don't know. As I said, I moved here in 95.
To
People look-
me, yes, that was a long time ago. I don't think people have done that in a long time.
no,
but-
because a lot of developments are
Yeah.
happening up there.
But I
Everybody
remember
thinks
when
St.
we
Peter's
used
is
to go to
now.
school, they used to call it Monkey Hill, and then they had that stigma with it, and they
Why
moved.
did it get that name?
I don't know,
Okay.
but they moved away from that because I remember even in school, the teachers used to say, "No, do not call it that." Say St. Peter's.
Okay.
And so we hear more St. Peter's now, and a lot of people have migrated there
Yeah.
from a lot of different places.
Different
so-
neighborhoods,
yeah.
yeah. Building homes there. I have a friend that have a home in that great state, as they call it, of St. Peter's. So, folks, for those of you listening, I'm not from here, as most of you would have known by now. Could you enlighten me and let me know why is St. Peter's called Monkey Hill? Was it once a place where a lot of monkeys resided, so they kind of named it that, or is there some different history behind that?
Yeah.
Now, on the international scene, Quint, I don't know if you mentioned that yesterday before we get back in the Caribbean, the United jet,
No,
that
but I
on
didn't.
takeoff, the engine caught fire, dropped off, caused the plane to roll because, the weight is going to be more
Yeah,
excessive
listed,
on
yeah.
the other side, and the numbers are rising, the death toll numbers are rising.
Yeah.
And they show you the before picture and the after picture, and wow, the difference is vast. Condolences to the persons who have lost their families in that crash. And I saw an
Morning,
article.
guys.
Morning, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you guys this morning?
Good, thanks.
Well, since you start off with roads, I have a road complaint. They're asking to fix 4th Street Road because someone's spraying their foot.
Which
walking on
road?
the bad road. 4th Street.
Oh, where on 4th Street actually?
They didn't tell me exactly where, but she said she was going back to work from lunch and walking on 4th Street and ring her foot on the bad road.
Oh boy.
But
Sorry
now
to hear about that.
she's out of work.
Oh wow. Not good.
So it was bad. It was not just a little ring.
Oh.
Yeah, the people are asking fix 4th Street.
Okay, so I hope the powers would be listening, Minister of Roads and Works. We need to fix
Otherwise,
4th
y'all
Street.
don't get lost for messing up people's food.
People here don't sue man, Cleo. I'm telling you.
Remember, it's modern time, Remember we like to say it's modern time. They're catching up.
All right. I'll wait to see the modern. But people here, just take it like a pro and pay the bill. We have two nicer people here.
Bye, I tell you. Anyway, I'll call back. I'll see you listen.
Okay.
Right.
We have another call.
Okay, call.
Oh,
Okay, we
lost
lost that caller.
Yeah.
All right. So we were talking about the roads. We were talking about the crash in the U.S. As I said, there was one survivor, so they have a GoFundMe page. They're trying to help him because he's the breadwinner of the family. He has a
Wow.
wife and 2 children,
Okay.
and he's severely burnt, 95%.
Wow.
So I pray that he gets a full recovery. And then also in the U.S., I would suggest tease Cleo, but I don't think it won't be her mayor because she's in Connecticut, right? I see New York has a very young mayor. The young men are making head waves now in the world.
Yeah.
But then too, I see that some Israeli factions are fighting already against him because he's Muslim.
Yeah.
And he spoke out about what's happening in Gaza, etc., etc. But I guess people wanted a change, so they changed the change.
Yeah, well, if the Israelis can be prominent all over, why do they feel that they are exclusive? I mean, so a Muslim should be able to come up, whoever.
The ones that can lead the people properly.
Yeah.
Quinn, did you have a chance to look at the debate, or you didn't look at the debate with him and Cuomo?
No, I don't have the time right now for those things.
Okay.
I'm not too enthused by neither the Republicans or the Democrat, but I feel that we definitely need a change away from where the Republicans are trending. But let's leave it to be seen if and when the governments, the Democrats regain position and authority, what they will do, because it is because of the fact that none of these parties have been doing what they should do that we are heading down a road that is just more negative all the time.
Indeed.
The liberals are too liberal and the conservatives are too conservative, going on extremes on both sides.
Oh boy. So
Yeah.
there's nothing else. Whilst I was doing some research also, I found something that the Prime Minister of Grenada said, and this is from MTV News Grenada. So I wanted to take a listen, and Quint, I know you're an excellent listener. You can tell me what you're hearing and what you are not hearing. So
United States and Venezuela.
Let me turn up the volume and start.
Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell provided a long-awaited update in Parliament on Tuesday regarding the U.S. government's request to install radar equipment at the Maurice Bishop International Airport against the backdrop of rising tensions between the United States and Venezuela. In recent weeks, political activists and members of the public, including the Grenada Coalition for a Zone of Peace, have staged a peaceful protest urging the government to reject the proposal. Prime Minister Mitchell previously stated that the matter requires careful consideration and cannot be answered with a simple yes or no. While he did not present a definitive position during Tuesday's sitting, the Prime Minister emphasized that the Maurice Bishop International Airport is not designed to accommodate any form of military installation.
We first appreciate that the Maurice Bishop International site, by its very history, is one that is historic, of significance to the public, and one that evokes a lot of emotive reactions. That's one. And therefore, clearly, we appreciate that the public will want to opine on this matter. Second, and perhaps more fundamentally important, the Maurice Bishop International Airport is a civilian airport, and therefore it is not equipped to treat with military-type operations. Third, any installing of the radar would obviously disrupt the operations of the Maurice Bishop International Airport, and we would need technical advice as to whether or not it was feasible or advisable to do so.
He says an initial feasibility assessment was conducted by the U.S. Southern Command, led by Admiral Alvin Halsey, but no conclusion has been reached.
The U.S. request included first an opportunity for Southern Command to assess the site. They have done so. And after having done so, they would have indicated that there were two sites that they were interested in. In light of the ongoing discussions that we've held with them on the technical issues, they have come back and indicated that they are interested perhaps in one site. They have also indicated, Mr. Speaker, that they wish to have a response by a particular time. We have not been able to provide that response for the simple reason that I've said, just from a technical point of view, we are not in a position to satisfy ourselves as to the safety and other technical requirements as to whether or not such equipment properly ought to be at the airport.
Mitchell also reminded Parliament that Grenada does not maintain a military force, and therefore the installation of military equipment may not be appropriate. He reaffirmed that Grenada will not engage in any decision or activity that breaches domestic, regional, or international laws.
Grenada has no military, and therefore our cooperation with the U.S. has always been in the context of law enforcement. and in the context of our own domestic law and in the context of international law. And therefore, we would have inquired as to the legal basis or framework upon which, given that this is a military request, that the request was being made, and we've entered into discussions on those issues which are not settled. So when we indicated that we're considering, I'm simply providing a bit more context and more detail. That is precisely what we have been doing. It's important to point out, and I think this is important for me to go on the record, to say that as Prime Minister of the country and the government we lead, we would not enter into any agreement which from a Grenada perspective has any possibility of violating Grenadian domestic law or violating international law.
Admiral Jose, who oversaw the U.S. assessment, recently announced his retirement effective December 12, 2025, amid heightened military operations in the region and growing tensions surrounding Venezuela. For the MTV Evening News.
Yeah. Well, anyone can see clearly that this is what sometimes you have to do. He's being diplomatic. He does not want to, because if you listen to his statements from the island's perspective, he keeps saying they're not prepared for this, or the airport is not for that, or we don't want to do anything that is going to infringe on. But you see, what people don't understand is that the United States and those superpowers tend to pressure you. You notice that in that bit of a thing there, they said that he was being pressed to give a time when he would think, and he said we have not been able to come up with that time, so he's being diplomatic. But here's the thing, this is where the Caribbean needs to unite. All of the Caribbean leaders who see and hear what he's going through should get together, let their voices come together in unison and say, we stand with a zone of peace, and we stand with the Grenadian leader for so and so, and it would give him the strength to say a definitive no. You understand? They're pushing him, they're threatening him. That's what they do. They're threatening and saying, if you don't do this, we're going to pull that. And they will even go to the extent where they will suggest in a sort of a mild way that they will use force against you. It is all intimidation. It has happened during, the course of history. Yesterday I played in my clip where they intimidated some of the leaders back then and said, well, for instance, Guyana, they threatened Guyana that they would bomb Guyana. You understand? The United States did that. So we don't know what they are doing in the background. The fact that a general is doing the assessment again, I don't like that. Because if a general is doing the assessment, he's going to do it in favor for them. And then he's saying he wants another site. We don't want no site. You understand? But for the Caribbean leaders, you must be aware of what is happening, and you can feel the tension that this young man is going through as a leader. Come together, make your voice definitive, stand with him, even if it means that you go in a forum and you're on either side of him and you say, we as a region say no. You understand? That will embolden him to say no. Then let's see what the U.S. is going to do.
Yeah, because you realize after the general did the assessment, now the general resigned effective immediately as of December 12th. He's no longer.
Well, you see, that general resigned because he was, one, a black man, right? Number two, a general knows what is going to unfold, and he was not comfortable with what was going to unfold. Here's another thing that we might not be aware of. A lot of these people in the United States, black people in the United States, they have Caribbean roots. You understand? Who knows where his Caribbean roots stem from? For instance, Colin Powell, he had Jamaican roots. A lot of them have Caribbean roots. And even if some of them don't have Caribbean roots, a lot of them, in working their way up through the ranks to reach where they have reached in the army, they know what they have gone through. You understand? The intimidation, the whatnot. They had to be 10 times as tough. And so now that they're in a certain position and they see black people being pushed the same way, a lot of them are not going to be comfortable with it.
Caller, you can always...
Hello, caller?
Friend?
Yes.
Carson, sir.
Hey,
Good
Greg,
day to you all. Good morning.
Good day.
And greetings once more in Jesus Christ's name, the only Savior of sinners. who saved them from their sins and from hell through faith only, and the second person of the eternal Trinity. Now, I was doing a little research on something. You know, we had a discussion where, you know, we have a discussion as to whether the government of our government has taken a loan from the IMF. So I went on the IMF page, website, and I went on one of the pages. The pages is called St. Kitts and Nevis Financial Position in the Fund as of October the 31st, 2025. And it gave a breakdown of our position, financial position in the IMF fund. And the fourth one.
Hold a second. I want you to give the audience again the information as to how they can get to the page and what it is named so that people can do this for themselves. Go ahead.
Yes. Well, it's about 3 steps it took me. And I remember exactly, well, let me try to see what I could remember. First I type in, I went to the home page. I type in IMF in the home page. It took me to a page with some options concerning information concerning St. Kitts and Nevis. One of those options are buttons mark St. Kitts and the IMF.
Yeah.
I went on that page, St. Kitts and the IMF, and then I went down to the bottom of the page. The bottom of the page have some buttons you can press. It said related contents or something to the effect. And one of the buttons marked St. Kitts and Nevis financial position in the fund.
Yes.
In the fund. That's the name of the button. Very close to that. And then it put me on this page that says St. Kitts and Nevis financial position in the fund as of October the 31st, 2025. Okay, that's the name of the page that I'm on now that it took me to. And the fourth, you have quite a few information here, but the fourth one is titled Outstanding Purchases and Loans. Outstanding Purchases and Loans. And the answer is none.
Okay. So that's
the answer, none.
That's good information there. So
I
we
would
can
think so.
so we can quell it at least for the moment that we have not gone back to the IMF as yet. Well, thank you for your research on that.
But could I say also something? No, my question is because, as it was said yesterday, and my research showed me that we became a member of the IMF in August, on August 15, 1994.
Yeah.
My question is, why are we a member of the IMF in the first place? And to add insult to injury, paying them to be a member of them when they have no good for us, when they're more of a poison to us than anything else. I mean, you're paying for your own poison.
Yeah.
So why are we a member of the IMF? And I would say, additionally, the World Bank as well.
Well, you
why
see,
are we members of them in the first place? Because they are no good.
Even though I can't give a definitive answer as to why or not, I would think that it's a very complicated matter. I would like to think that somewhere within our negotiations and our relations within the region, that something must have popped up where it was suggested that we join either the IMF or the World Bank to further relations. They do these things in very mild ways, and then when you join on, then they say, well, you know, you're gonna sign up to be a member, and next thing, when you're a member, you can get certain benefits and so forth, and you can get loans, and that might have been something that would have stimulated the interest of some of our leaders who tend to mismanage their funds. So that is it. It's like you go on the internet and you see an app, and the app says it is free, and it says it is free, and you can learn information about things around the world, and you say, okay, that's a good app, and you tap into it, and next thing you're using it, and you're doing all kind of things, and next thing, some months down the line, you see something come up and say, you will only be able to enjoy this for the next X amount of days, otherwise, it's going to be cut off, and it's best if you join and you pay a little subscription fee, and you're thinking, wow, I'm going to do that because this has been so good to me. I've been able to get so much and so much, and you join on to it, and next thing when you join on to it, it keeps going from there to other things where you find yourself tied up in, a whole lot of things that you didn't plan for in the first instance. So that is how it usually happens. You are coerced in a very mild way that you at first you're not aware of, and then when you realize the benefits of the thing, you feel, well, okay, it has benefited me, but you don't see the long end run. But for our leaders, when they see the part where you can get loans from a body like the World Bank or the IMF, that seems, I would think that blinded them to a lot of other things that could be negative. They're thinking, oh, what? I could get some, especially when they are just renting places instead of using the government buildings and not doing proper maintenance, things like that.
Yeah, but the thing is, Dr. Simmons, and it's a good thing that he never took a loan from them. That was a good thing. But he decided that he's not going to take any loans from the IMF because he saw the badness of it.
Yes.
He saw the unprofitableness of it.
Yes.
Okay? So if he saw the unprofitableness and the badness of it, why did he join it in the first place? Because if I see that you is bad company for me,
but that is what I'm
not
saying.
Going to join you.
Greg, I'm saying maybe he found out after the fact. Maybe after he joined, he then did some research, or he had people in his, in his governmental
But
part
Greg
of his.
is looking at it as all bad, but hasn't some of that money helped with some of the development that we see in the Federation?
Yeah, but I don't
But
look at it
cost?
like that because, I don't look at it like that. You see, that is where
At what cost?
that is where I say our leaders, that's what they see, but they don't see the trap that unfolds when they do that. You see?
Okay.
Yeah. So
But at least, even if you find out after you join it, come out of it.
it's not that easy.
If
Greg, it's
if
Greg.
I find that
Greg.
you're a bad company for me, I'm going to come out of your company.
Greg, yes, when it's company, but when it's the IMF and the World Bank, there's all kind of suggestion they're going to give you. For instance, let's say you decide one day you send it. Okay, I'm going to use this reference. I had a loan in a bank, right? And I had some money on a bank, and I wanted a loan. I had much more money on the bank than the loan I wanted, right? So I go to the bank and I say, I want a loan. The bank gives me all kind of run. I'm feeling kind of irritated and frustrated because I'm thinking, so I say to one of the bank individuals, look, but I have X amount of money and this is the loan I want, and this is supposed, and they're giving me all kind of run around that, well, it isn't as easy as that, and this is that, and all kind of stuff. So at a certain point, I get irritated, and I say, you know what? I want my money out. I'm going to take my money out of the bank. Give me my money. Then, all the hoopla, oh, well, this, and I have to see this person to talk to, and I have to see that person to talk, my own money,
Yep,
and I have to see,
and
I have to see that part, and I'm thinking but anyway, I'm a kind of stubborn person. I say, look, I want my money out the bank. I say that to say this, when you decide you're going to pull out of the IMF or the World Bank, you get all kind of subtle suggestions. They're going to tell you, be careful because if you do that, it could lead to that, and you won't get this, and it's not so easy to pull out because the things that they tell you and they whisper in your ear and the things that you see start. Let's say, for instance, you had applied for some health, some assistance in a health thing or something like that. Next thing you know, you hear, well, no, this isn't going to happen, or 2 other ventures aren't going to happen, and you're asking yourself, I wonder if this is happening because I decided to pull out of. So it's not as easy as we think.
But Quint, all you got to, one of the things all you got to do, for example, with the IMF is stop paying your subscription.
Yeah, but then,
I don't think
but
it's all
then,
that hard.
but
But if
then
you
they're
have to
gonna,
sign things.
but then they're gonna find you because when you signed on,
Mm-hmm.
they would have had things in there. You always hear about the fine print, so they might have had. I don't know. I'm just assuming here.
So it means sign and what they're going to do? Come take over my country? If I may pay me subscription, what they're going to do? Come take over my country?
But
You
this is
never know.
but this is what I'm saying. Here is it. If you as St. Kitts and Nevis decide you're not going to sign off on that, it doesn't sound so bad. But what happened if all the other islands in the Caribbean have already signed off on it? You understand the predicament you put yourself in? The predicament you put yourself in is that, yeah, you can come out, but next thing when you see the other islands getting this and getting that and you're not and they're going to find ways to stop. Next thing you know, your citizens have to pay such and such to get visas, or you have to go, all kind of things they're going to come up with. And you're not going to be able to defend them because you stand on your own. This is why I say the Caribbean leaders need to be unified on every aspect, in everything, because they're using this divide and conquer to control us.
Yeah, Queen, but you know as well, you know when you see the countries them getting this and getting that, you know it is to their own destruction and ruin.
I know that, but what I'm saying...
So it's not something to be jealous of.
But you're putting
but
it...
what-
But, Greg, you're putting it in simple terms in terms of yes or no. But there are a lot of other things that you would have wanted to be a part of that they will cut you off of that has nothing to do with you saying yeah or no, but they are malicious and they're willful and they're going to find ways because they have the power. This is why I told you, I introduced you to the word hegemony. This is what it means, Greg.
Yes. And Quint, that is why I will always and always be seeing the wisdom of the Bible. You stand with Jesus Christ and you're in the majority because greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world, including the IMF, America, and the whole world put together. And as a Christian leader who is informed by the Word of God and have the Holy Spirit, you'll be walking by faith and not by sight, knowing that you take your Bible position and God will work it out. None of them stronger than God because greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world. And that is why I would only back Christian leaders who are filled with the Word of God and who knows what to do because it's only them who would stand in the end for what is right.
Okay.
Okay, Quinn. Thank
Okay.
you very much. Appreciate your time.
Yes, let's take a bit of a commercial break and we'll be right back.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean, keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
The holidays just got a whole lot brighter with the new $5 Holiday Stash scratch ticket. It's easy to play, packed with $1,000 prizes and many chances for you to win big this holiday season. So go ahead, treat yourself, spread some cheer, and stack some cash. Play Holiday Stash today at Caribbean Lottery agents and vending machines island-wide. Must be 21 years and older to play. Please play responsibly.
Here are your Horsford's Value Mart IGA specials.
Running October 30th to November 12th.
Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Pearl Milk Pancake Mix is just $11.99. Essential Everyday Vegetable and Canola Oils, $13.99 each. Pearl Milk Pancake Syrups, $13.99. Langus Cranberry Juices, $11.99. Essential Everyday Cream Cheese Bars, $7.99. Essential Everyday Fries, just $14.99. And now our very low weekly
Value deals. IGA and Essential Everyday Peanut Butter, Creamy and Crunchy, $8.99. IGA Essential Everyday Salad Dressing, $9.99. Mueller's Dry Pasta, $5.99. Hammer Toothpaste, $14.99. Hammer Deodorant, $8.99. Extra Liquid Detergent, $12.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart, Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Welcome back to Island Tea. It's just about 35 minutes after the hour of 8. Now, Quince, I don't want to say I'm going to be a bit mischievous, but I saw this and I thought, what are the odds of this being possible? Now, to Jamaica.
We have a caller.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island Tea. Good morning.
Good morning and peace to you all. How are you all doing this morning?
Good, thanks.
We're
Yourself?
fine, thank you. And you?
Good, good. Well, I just want to say, Clint, I did check the document. I have the document as for the summary, but
Yes.
it's an 80-page document, so it will give me some time to go through. But what I've seen, it give a kind of outlook that is not too favorable for us.
Well, I don't want you to
forward?
wait. I don't want you to give me Greg just called and he said that when he looked on the IMF page and he looked as to outstanding loans or so forth with St. Kitts and Nevis, there was a none, right? So that means that answers the question as to whether or not we went for that loan as it stands at this moment. What you're suggesting now is that yes, they're suggesting that we are going through certain travails, right?
Right.
Okay, so
Right. So the growth that they were looking at, I think it said to be like 1.5 or whatever it is.
yes.
So that's what it is. I'm not going to go too much in it because, like I said, it's an 80-page document, and I only were able to go to the summary of what they said.
Yes.
So
give us a synopsis.
So all it's simple saying that the projection of growth that they're looking at,
Yes.
it's a bit low.
Yes.
Right? I think it's 1.5 they said it was, and other things. So, and it's because of, let's say, the reduction in the CDI, reduction in government in earnings and so forth like that.
Yeah.
But so that is what has happened for the financial year for that period. So I would just like to leave it there because even though I'm talking to you, I was supposed to have the document because of circumstances I did not have it to go through so I could point it out to you. So that's
Yeah,
why I
but
just wanted to say
even if and when you do that, see, here's what I want you all to always be aware of. I want synopsis. I don't want detailed things. So you're going to have to. I would expect that you are versed enough to peruse the document, pick out the important aspects, and then narrow it down in a way that you can say in a few minutes what it says without going into detail. So that is what I would expect from you.
I had that, but because of something to do with work.
Okay, I hear you.
So that is why, work sometimes
Yes.
could be unpredictable. And when you meet a situation, it just throws everything else out the window, so you have to focus on it.
Definitely.
But I was listening, and what I really called for is that we talk about joining the IMF in '94. But those of us who could remember what happened between '93 and '94, you all remember that period?
That's with the unrest.
Remember we had an election in '93. It was 4-4. And then we had some violence. So I do not know what the Prime Minister was thinking at that time, but there were some damages. So who knows, okay, we're preparing for the future. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yes.
There might have been a lot of things
that is why
that to happen because
that
a
is
lot of
why
things happened during that time.
Yes, that
I
is
just
why
wanted to bring our listeners up to speed that during that period, it was a real chaotic period. So there's a lot of things that might have influenced such action.
that is why I said he might have joined thinking he would join for specific reason and then found out after research, after the fact that, hey, I don't think this would be a good thing to do. So.
Yeah, but those are persons who didn't know. That's when we had the riots and a lot of things were happening in Bastille. The airport nearly get bust. It was just a chaotic period at that time.
Yeah.
So I just want persons to understand, yes, do not bash what happened, but at that time, a lot of negative things was happening during that period. We even had periods where a person get murdered, killed. We had a lot of homicides during the period as well. A lot of violence were on the street. Fire. It was just, I don't even want to go through, but maybe sometimes somebody who wants to go through it, but it was not a good period in our history.
But here's the thing, though, caller. This is where people must be able to analyze and come to rational conclusion. Yes, he joined the IMF, but he further stated he did not think it would be good to take loans from the IMF because it was a slippery slope. That means he did, or people surrounding him advised him that, okay, we're there, but let's don't go any further. He did not take us to the IMF. It was another regime that took us to the IMF. So as far as I'm concerned, it's neither here nor there where he's concerned in terms of going into the IMF. The key factor is he did not take a loan from them. And he also further advised that it was not wise to do. So it means he had done his research.
And that is the point I was coming at. You still have to recognize good in it and recognize that at the same time, even though certain action was taken for the benefit of the country, our first Prime Minister and his team recognized the interest of the country at hand. Even things might have been as it is. And that is why I keep saying the People's Action Movement always look for the best interest of the nation and the people. I'm just going to leave it there and just let person remember. Even when you feel as if you might be down on the ground, the People's Action Movement, even though you feel as if the country might be in certain situations, still look for the best interest and the best way out. Even though something might get hand, still try to avoid as much as possible.
Yes.
And that is why, come the next election, the People's Action Movement, along with myself, will make up the government and take the country in the best way for our people, including the people helping us to make our country the best country again. Not just in the Caribbean, but in the entire world, because it doesn't matter our size. It doesn't matter we do not have military might, but our persuasion can go along with it. And that is why I'm continuing to call for peace throughout our hemisphere. I'm glad the Prime Minister came out and was saying the same thing, but the People's Action Movement always strive to maintain peace, not only in our nation, but throughout the Caribbean and peaceful throughout the world. And I am coming up, knowing what war could bring, always want it to be peaceful. It may not always happen that way, but we should always advocate for peace.
Yeah.
Let us make our hemisphere a peaceful one, and this message is going out to the U.S. government, the Venezuelan government, the Guyanese government, the Trinidadian government, and all the government in the region. Let us seek peace for our people, because caller. Yes, sir.
I understand you're trying to be a bit diplomat, but I wouldn't say, you see, this is sometimes where I get a little bit irritated. I would say straight up to the United States of America, we want peace. I wouldn't waste any time to say Venezuela and the other countries, because we had a peace before they decided to come and do that. So I would address them and not try to water it down by saying, I'm going to tell this. No, tell the US of A that we want peace and we do not want you in our proximity. Also, I'm going to say to you, I like the way how you always represent your party, but I'm going to reiterate to you again, you are only one individual. I do not hear from the rest of your party. Your rest of your party...
Go
ahead.
Yes, I know, but you know, as one of the deputy political leaders and a candidate, I still have to, because my interest just is for our nation, but I want the people in constituencies to know. This could affect them, so I want them to know that they too have been represented at this level, to make sure their voices, the same concern they have, because a lot of them told me this thing is echoed. The reason why I mentioned Venezuela, Guyana, and Trinidad, because remember the border, remember certain things were happening as well.
Yes.
Remember with Trinidad and Venezuela, the same border, so it's also...
But don't we have... Don't we have...
At the end of the day, the U.S. trying to create an avenue, saying an invitation. So if we among ourselves, the Caribbean nation, would say, you know what? We're going to sit down and talk. Therefore, the invitation or the belief that the U.S. might come to be a part of the solve might reduce. So if we could start talking with each other and realizing, hey, war doesn't mean anything. We could have a rough talk, and we could have even if the problem is not solved for 100 years, what happened? We have peace for 100 years. And that's what I'm talking about. Should not try to say and do things to invite others to come in to pick a side, because you know what happened? Venezuela is
in
the eyes of the US. So
caller again, you're straying. Who invited who? You're saying invite who?
No, I'm saying neither me or you know what happened. So what I'm saying,
caller.
If we do not speak peace, somebody will say they want to come and be arbitrator, and sometimes because of the situation with Venezuela,
Caller.
it may be in a negative way. So I'm saying is that if we could speak peace, let me ask a question. So maybe I could explain myself better. Let me ask a question. I'm going to give you a scenario. Two groups of young guys over there seem as if they want to fight. And their friends start to talk peace to them. If somebody who is bystanding, let's say an adult, would you believe he'd want to step in to say anything if he realized they're working out and doing it peacefully?
But this is where, caller, this is where I disagree with you, because you're giving the impression that we had a problem down here, and someone came in and said they wanted to listen to. They're not down here to make. They're down here on a false pretense that we're running drugs and they want to stem the drugs. This is completely different to a family down here having a bit of in fighting with Venezuela and Guyana and blah blah blah. This is a complete different context.
Can I tell you something, sir?
Yes.
Because of certain training I have, and because of certain reading I do, if you check the history of certain things, you realize it's more than what meets the eye.
Caller, I am not going to disagree with you that it's more than what meets the eye, but I am saying what is being pushed is completely false. To what is being pushed for them to be in our region right now has nothing to do with we're coming to make peace between Guyana and Venezuela also. It's a complete farce. It's a complete lie to come and use brute force. That is what I'm saying.
You are, I know. So it's more than what we might be thinking, but all my duty is to call for peace in our region and to remind our brothers and sisters, let us be peaceful among ourselves, that others will see we are peaceful and we could solve our own problems. Because if that's not the case, whether it be drugs or otherwise, let us help each other to fight the drugs. But also we have to remember, we could also help each other to fight the importation of guns into our nation, because that's another problem. We have guns coming in. Just some of those nations might make guns or stuff.
Caller, with all due respect, you're reminding me very much of Kamala Passad.
No. What I want us to realize is peace. I'm talking about peace. Because if we do not try to talk about peace, even though someone might want to hurt you, if you do not try to maintain yourself, you cannot stop someone from wanting to beat upon you. But if you can control yourself and maintain peace, it will kind of prevent that person from doing your thing. And I am saying, because of what war brings, if we could talk to each other and let them see, hey, as much as you might want to do this, we are a zone of peace, we won't have our squabbles, but Venezuela and us are at peace and we're going to solve our issues that we have. That could go a long way. That's all I'm saying. We cannot stop them from what they want to, but if we let them see we are doing our things in a peaceful way, to the benefit of our people in our region, that might let them think different. And that is why I'm calling for peace among our own. And I'm also calling for peace and the U.S. government to accept our wishes for peace in our nation, in our region. Yes, we accept any advice or whatever, but to come confrontational, we are saying no. We are a zone of peace. Just like how a lot of nations calling for peace with Russia and Ukraine and with other things. Yes, let us call for peace in our nation. It might sound strange, it might sound weird, but the call should be for peace in our region. Peace, peace, peace. That is what will help us to survive. War brings so many negatives. When it's not destruction and death, it causes people to scatter all over the world. Some of those nations are too small. Remember, Venezuela has, I think, maybe 30 plus million people. Just 1 million from that coming here, you realize what happened. Even 500,000. So what I'm saying is it is best for us to call for peace in our region and to even call for whatever needs to be done to make things better in those nations to be done. Just like how we're calling for better to be in our nation for us, we could also encourage our friends to do likewise. But the most important thing is to maintain peace to prevent destruction and massive loss of life by these things, because sometimes the chemicals that are in these weapons last for a while in the air. And, so that is why I'm saying, let us call for peace. And I hope that my voice and all of our voices, just like how we were calling for the abandonment of the apartheid in Africa and then it finally came, that's why I'm saying, let us echo the voice of peace, because we echo the voice of lifting the apartheid inside Africa.
Caller,
the Caribbean,
caller, caller.
And it finally happened. That is why I'm calling to say, let us continue along this path to call for that peace.
Okay,
Yes,
are
sir.
you finished?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thanks for your input.
Yes, thank you, sir. God bless you. God bless St. Nevis. God bless constituencies, and peace to us all.
Yeah. You see, he lost me, you know. I zoned out.
Right.
Because this is the rhetoric that falls into the hands of and we fall into the hands of our enemies. I mean, he was going good until he decided to implicate all of us into this thing that we're like, we don't want peace. We didn't have a problem until we have warships and submarines in our waters threatening us. We want these people out, right? Have you ever heard that you have a family fight and someone comes and want to input, you remember your family and you deal with that person, and then afterward you get back to your family business? This is what I'm saying. We need to be in a position where we stop letting people distract us. I don't understand for the life of me where this thing came in about, well, you know, they came in and they're trying to, like, using the scenario where two boys are fighting and someone is coming to try to bring peace. Where the U.S. comes in that.
Well, I could see from his point of view what he's saying. Maybe the U.S. is just trying to part. I'm not agreeing with what they're doing, but
how are they trying to part when this is what I'm saying. How are you trying to part when you come? Okay, two boys are fighting, right? You're coming to part, but you say, Quint has drugs, and we're going to deal with Quint. Is that parting?
No.
So that is what I'm saying. That is bluntly what I'm saying. Hello, caller.
Is that parting? So that is what
Hello,
I'm saying.
caller.
Good morning, Quint. How are you doing?
I'm a bit irritated, but it happens quite often in my life, in my daily.
It's okay. It's okay to be. It's okay to be irritated. Nothing wrong with that. That is part of life, as long as you keep it under control.
Well, that's one thing I'm good at, keeping it under control.
Well, welcome back, lady. And I know you keep come to give Quinton ease. See, the thing is, what happened is with the issue with the U.S. across Venezuela border is in spite of what the Prime Minister for Trinidad, any minister in the Caribbean may say, I think in my mind that whatever the U.S. want to do, they will do. And because as far as they're concerned, we are insignificant to them. And so as far as they're concerned, it doesn't really matter. They could do anything they want to do. And we have to suck up. We don't have any choice.
But hear this, caller. I don't disagree with that. But here's this. The world is changing, you know, whether we want to realize it or not. You see that place over there called Africa? There's a lot of young people who are very savvy and watching. You go and watch and tap into a lot of those young Africans' sites and look at what they're looking at. They're looking at the history of the Caribbean and the history of blacks in the United States. And you know what they have come to realize? That all of us have been going through exploitation. And that Africa with those African youths, as it is changing, the day it changes, the world changes. You understand? So let the I agree with you, let the United States and let whoever continue with their hegemony for as long as they can, because that is fast running out.
Yes, it is true. At the same time, we only one country, only ourselves country, our mind, you know, for mental slavery. But at the same time, in my mind, I just feel like that the United States will not attack Venezuela directly. They put themselves in a position where they will be intimidated, and those people in the military will form a coup and get rid of the top, and so they're just there to intimidate, because America can strike you from.
But that is not.
Anyway,
but that is not going to work. If you follow what is happening in Venezuela, you know. Look, Maduro has armed his people. You know. Maduro has.
I know that.
So here's my point. Here's my point.
The US plan.
I know what the U.S. plan. We know what the U.S. plan, and I agree with you. They want it to be an inside thing. That is the best. But here's Maduro has armed his people. down to the tooth and nail his civilian people. That's one. Number two, unknown to a lot of people in the Caribbean, the Venezuelans are militant people. That's number two. Number three, Russia has installations there. Number four, China has installations there. This is what I'm telling you. It's not like once ago when the U.S. just come and people just give up. Or you see Venezuela captured 2 CIA operatives inside Venezuela. It's not like before when you're sending some people and they go and they kidnap Maduro and like they did with that man over in the Suez Canal, right? So the world is changing, my friend.
Yes, that is true that the world is changing, but at the same time, we still must not look the other way and forget the military might and what they can do with a couple of missiles and how many people are going to lose their lives. Yeah. They don't have to put man-to-man combat. I mean, they don't have to get on a man-to-man. They don't even have to come near you. They can strike you from a distance. They can guide the missiles wherever they want. They can take you out. And after they finish, they just continue merrily going on the road. So at the end of the day, you could use some of what they called before. I mean, stating about peace. You could buy peace from now until you find yourself end up in pieces. That is true. But at the same time, you could try a thing. I'm not sure how far we're going to get with it, but I think that we should be supportive of each other, and government administration should show the position as to where they stand. And we are a zone of peace, and we don't really go for war. We cannot fight a war, and we will never win. And we have too much to lose to go into a war. We cannot even feed our people, never mind going to a war. We're trying to survive. And to start a war in the Caribbean, that is not our place.
But we're not, as I agree, look, I agree with you 100%. So where's this talk about where you said, and I agree with you, the U.S. will do what it wants to do. But that doesn't mean that because the U.S. will do what it wants to do, all of us should just throw up our hands and say, well, the U.S. can bomb us, so we're going to keep our mouth shut.
That is why I said the leaders should come together and have one voice.
Yes.
Rather than one leader speaking on behalf of his country.
I agree.
That one leader should have the voice to speak on behalf of all the Caribbean together.
Yes.
And so that way you have a united Caribbean. And you're not coming out, you're just showing that you can't fight because you have no weapon of war to fight with. And so therefore you only have your people who want to survive. And you're willing to trade. And you're willing to go through the proper channels to do whatever is legal.
But caller, you see, I hear you, but underneath all of what you keep coming back to is that it's like you're saying that because of the position that we are in, we should be on our knees, and this is where I disagree with you.
No, you can stand tall without firing one punch.
But you keep saying, but you keep saying because we want peace, we have to look. We want peace, but we're going to say with the voice that we have that we are independent countries. We don't want you in our proximity, right? We were
sometimes peace come with a price, you know.
I know
come
that.
With a price. Nobody going to give you freedom. You have to take it. Nobody going to give you.
But Carlo, what are you suggesting now?
You have to stand up.
What are you suggesting now?
You have to stand up. You have to show, hey, these are the principles of which I stand.
So that is what I'm saying. So that is what I'm saying. And I don't think it's going to cost us. And I don't think it's going to cost us our lives either, right?
No,
I don't think so.
At the same time, we must show what we stand for.
Yes.
And at the same time, rather than bowing. No, I agree with you.
Yes.
We're on the same page.
Okay, then.
We're on the same page. Last thing before you go. I understand that you was giving out an advertisement concerning the walkathon for the children home.
Yes.
With that, I like the idea, but I do have a problem with that for years. The problem that I have with it for years is that I've heard of the walks. Nobody ever come back and say we have sold so many shirts, so many bandana. We make $5,000. Out of the $5,000, we disperse it to the children home. This is what they buy. This is how much food they buy. This is what they did. We don't know. So many people take part. At least tell the public what you have done with the money.
Yes, I hear you.
I have a problem with the money thing. People, most of the time you see people up and up in arms and they're trying to collect cash. A lot of things could be wrong. Try to be transparent. Try to show the people, this is where you could sponsor to. This is where your money will go. Just don't come tell me work for the children home. Because
I can ask a question when the representative gets there.
I've been involved with the children home before and have seen certain things, and it begs for transparency. And that is all I'm going to say.
I agree with you on that. I agree. That is one of the problems.
Don't come tell me work, because I don't work.
Yes.
All is work, and I don't want to be paid to work, but I don't mind contributing to the children home. But tell me what you're doing with the money. Tell me how much money you collected. Tell me how you dispose the funds. And tell me that you're looking for more. Because you want to help the children.
Okay.
And I could be with you. I could go to China with you for tea and breakfast for Japan. Just don't give me foolishness.
I agree
and
with
think
you.
that we're stupid.
Yes,
Have a good day, Quint. I think I've said enough.
Yes, okay. Okay, let's take a bit of a commercial break and we'll be right back.
The right time, right ride, right now at Horsefoot's Automotive. Buy now or reserve for VAT discount days. Friday, December 12th and Saturday, December 20th. And get our lowest rates ever. Plus, enjoy up to $17,000 on select models. No VAT and no down payment. Drive away with finance with Horsefoots and get free bill of sale. Free servicing for 12 months. Free registration, free tinting, and even free groceries or gas for 3 months. Because the right time is here for the right vehicle with the right deal right now. Visit Horsefoots Automotive right now. Drive smart. Drive Horsefoots. Terms and conditions apply.
I think she's there.
Red Passion. Embrace the mix.
Campari Red Passion, full action, this is Red Passion. Embrace the mix, add Campari, make it turn and twist. Add your chaser in your drink. Campari Red Passion, make the nicest mix. Campari!
Campari Red Passion. Embrace the mix. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
We're back on Island Tea, and it's just about 4 minutes after 9. And as promised, we have with us in studio Miss Naima Hazel, and we'll be talking about the children home walk. I mentioned I wanted to wear one of my shirts, but I'm a little oversized, so I couldn't put it on. So I couldn't fully represent the way I wanted to represent. So.
I wanted to wear one of my shirts too, but I couldn't decide which one.
Oh, you got so many.
I
got like 3.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've been on the children's home board now almost 8 years, maybe not more. Yeah, so.
So you got about 8.
I have them from even before then, and this is our 14th year.
Yeah, I realized that. So. It is the 14th year. And I wanted to ask, who came up with the initiative when it comes to the walk for the children home?
That's a great question, to be honest. I would have to believe it would probably be the board at that time. Okay. which would probably have been Sebastian and probably Kim, who's still our chair.
Okay.
But it was really needed because, the Children's Home is an NGO. I think people get confused sometimes. They think it's a government entity.
Okay.
Now, we do receive a small subsidy from the government because we do take children from the state.
Okay.
But we are actually an NGO, so we do have to raise our own funds and get... so the Children's Home Walk is actually our major fundraiser. So the walk itself is actually what funds the home through the entire year.
Okay, so you've been to more than a couple of the walks.
I've been to almost all of them.
Okay.
And I've hosted like the last 7.
Okay. So it's in its 14th installment.
Yes.
How has the walk grown over the years?
I think it's just become a staple. Like this time of the year, we had to move it to November because it was too much competition in October.
Okay.
And we don't want to be competing with other very important charities, and we don't want to all be competing for the same dollars and the same contributions. But it's gotten bigger. COVID was a tough time for us because we didn't have a walk. So that was really hard for us. But, there's our regulars.
Okay.
So in the beginning, it used to just be a walk. Then it became like a walk and a 5K run. I'm not doing that run. I honor all of you who do that run. I really do. They be coming in faster sometimes than the walkers. I honor them, but not me.
Okay.
So then we started to award the runners, which is kind of a fun thing that we do. The Marriott has always supported us, and it really started under Ugo. But then Ugo is no longer with the Marriott. He retired. So he was one of the initial idea. He brought the initial idea, and so the Marriott came in. They've always been our partners. They do this great little lunch for us. It got a little bigger. We had to move to the Dome.
Yeah.
So the after party had to move to the Dome, and we've gone up in support and down and up and down and up, but it stayed pretty consistent. And this year, actually, we have a lot of new persons coming on, new businesses come in, they're interested, and they come in. So that's always really exciting for us too. So, and every year we change the color of the shirt. To be honest, we're running out of colors. So that's we're at 14. We're running out of colors. We got to start doubling up colors soon, But the walk has changed, but the thing that's always remained consistent is the support from the community. And so even though we've added things like we have a raffle, people come. If you've never been to the Children's Home Walk, you don't know that the raffle is a big part of the Children's Home Walk.
It is.
And so people say, I didn't know I didn't bring my money for the raffle. So bring your extra money for the raffle because we usually have great prizes. This year we're actually trying to even throw in some cash prizes.
Okay, that's nice.
It's always a nice treat to win a little bit of cash before Christmas.
Exactly.
So that's a big part.
Okay.
Sure.
Caller, go ahead. Okay, we lost that. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, so pretty much, and this year what's also changed is the cost.
Okay.
So we actually went up $10. It used to just be 50 EC. It never changed from 50 EC all 14 years. So this year it's actually at 60 EC for adults.
Okay.
And 30, I think it's $30 for children.
And children
6
under
to 12.
Okay.
And children under 6 always free. Free 99, we like to say. So they're always free. So that's the only thing that's actually really changed. We need a little bit more sponsorship with the increased cost, inflation, recession.
Because you mentioned sponsorship has increased, but is there still room for sponsorship?
Always, yeah. There's always room for sponsorship. We get a lot of corporate sponsors, but the community sponsors are just as important. And some years it wanes. So it used to be very easy. We used to go out, we have our list, everybody checks off. But especially when you're in a recession, a lot of companies are like, okay, this year we can't afford. So we're always trying to find new sponsors. And of course, your sponsorship comes with, you get 15 tickets, you get your platinum sponsor, you get an overnight at the Marriott, you get lots of different bonuses, So we do try to make it worth it for the sponsors, but most of our sponsors are just happy to help out with the children.
All right. I saw an advert. Tell us what items are not allowed in the walk, because we
you really have to tell people.
Yeah.
So
I've seen some things that were added in the walk whilst I walked.
Yeah, so we allow push chairs because of course parents have to push their children, but we don't allow bicycles, scooters, skateboards. So those are the kind of things that we don't allow on the walk. So you could push your children in their push chair, but you really shouldn't have those other things. It's not safe for people. And then we also have to remember that the Marriott Resort, we use the local golf course.
Yeah.
So the golf course is a golf course, and the greens are very, very delicate.
Yeah.
So we don't want people running up and down on the greens. We want them to stay on the pathway and really respect the property that's allowed us to be there for 14 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, you have to tell people, because they will show up.
Listen, I know you talk about not going on the greens, and you announce it every time we're there.
Every time.
And yet people still go on the
Always
greens.
go on the
I'm like,
greens.
but she just said that before we start. No, but that's the
Every
time my
time.
nephew wants to say, "Oh, auntie," I said, "You heard what the lady say. We're not supposed to be on the green, so you have to stay on the path." Because he said, "But look, that person," and
Yeah,
I
you
guess
have to
he's
stay on
pointing
the
it out to
path.
me, but I'd be
Yes.
like, "No."
And
we
we
can't be
also
on
have
the
that.
greens.
Sometimes the children run across, they be getting in first before the fight. Listen, how you got in here? How did you get in there before the runners? How did you get up in here?
Yeah,
No,
they
Miss
come.
Azano.
Yeah.
They come, but we love the spirit and the
Yeah,
camaraderie,
exactly.
and we like to start right on time. So I don't think people know. Like, we really start at 4:00. Our board at the children's home is a volunteer board, but everybody takes their job very seriously. And so Lysano, I'm gonna shout out Lysano out there. Lysano will be like at 3:49. He's like, Naima, I need you to be over there, ready to announce. And of course, Mr. X always comes out and does our warm up.
Yeah.
So there's just some things that are just traditionally children's home walk, and so we really love that about it.
We had a caller earlier that mentioned raising the money but not knowing what the funds are put towards. So
Oh, that's
he's
great.
hoping for a report.
Oh, I would love that.
So you ready to take on the
Of
challenge and answer the
course.
question?
Of
Because
course.
if you made 60, he wants to know where's the 60 allocated to.
So I ask people this, okay? You have a home. You have your children in your home. What you allocate your money for. So in the children's home, of course, naturally, food, staff, because we have to pay all of our staff. That's house parents. 24 hours a day, children have to be monitored. All our children have programming, so youth programming. So that which isn't free, that we have to pay for. We do have some volunteers, it's true. Sometimes we have to put out money for counseling services, for the needs of the children in the home. For the running of the home, we got bills. We have to hurricane season comes. We have to be covering buildings. We have to change lights out, like any maintenance that you would have in your regular home. So imagine over the year, people say, "Oh, where does the money go? How much children are there?" We actually have a fair amount of children there, because it is a place of safety for children. But to be honest, even if there was one child there, it would be the value of the home, because it means that child needs to be safe. So the money actually goes to the actual operational cost of the home. The board for the children's home makes $0. We are a volunteer board. It has always been a volunteer board. And so we really try to stick that out. Sometimes it's a simple thing like a pizza night for the kids. Like, we have teenage kids. Like, how expensive is it for you to feed your teenage kids? And we have a fair amount of teenage children. So really the money goes fully towards the operational costs. We don't take any administrative costs. So everything that you put into the home goes to the children that are in the home.
Well,
And
that
it needs-
isn't what he was saying. If you do this run or whatever, if you make $10, even if the $10 is more than what you expected, what he's saying that there are people out there who wants a breakdown of what you made.
Oh, it's funny. Somebody asked us that the other day, and we're all right. We're thinking we're going to put maybe some of the breakdown of like the general costs on the page, which just allows me to introduce you to our Facebook page. But we have had this discussion in board meetings, so I think that's actually coming. So I am going to encourage you to come to our Facebook and our Instagram, which is a St. Christopher Children's Home. And of course, you can also call the home 465-4007 or 766-4007. And anybody in the home is happy to speak to you about some of the things we do at the home.
We have a caller.
Yeah. Oh, a caller, great.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on the children
Good morning,
homes.
Quinn, and the guest, and Cotencio.
Hey, John.
My question to the lady who is in charge of the children home is, some of these vagabond parents we got here working do not want to look after the children, and they feel like the home must take care. We want laws to put in place. Once he's working in good health, you're supposed to, half your money is supposed to go down the home. Because hearing the lady quit, I hear behind the yabba pot, I hearing the lady speaking and saying that people is challenging the home. Why go down in the home. Have a good morning, Gwen.
Yeah.
Uncle Tensia and the girl.
Yeah, sorry
you,
about
John
that.
Down.
I agree with that sentiment. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, you know, we would love it. Like, remember, I was at New Horizon, and we used to ask persons through the courts to make a contribution to the home. But also, the home is a place of safety. So sometimes a lot of the children are there because their parents actually can't afford. We would love for parents to contribute. That would be ideal from your mouth to God's ears.
But what he's saying is, we know that, as you say, some parents can't afford, but he also says there are some who can afford.
They can. It's true.
Yeah.
But and I listen. I'm not disagreeing with what the caller says at all. I actually feel like if you can afford, that you should be making a contribution, and that would be the home is an NGO, so we could ask for it.
Yeah.
But whether we get it or not. And some parents do, like bring clothes for their children, etc. They visit their children, etc. So not all parents are the same. But whether they are going to contribute or not, we're going to take care of their kids.
Yes, definitely. We know
So for us, I remember when we were at New Horizon, we used to have a challenge. We used to have some parents who contributed, and they'd get the things, and the kids would want to share, and the kids were like, "I don't want to share my things." You know, my mom brought this for me. But we always had to provide for each of the kids, and also teach them about sharing. And but. To be honest, what you're saying is true. It would be great for people to take more responsibility for their children because it is a exorbitant cost to manage the cost of the children. But also, if they cannot, or even if they will not, we're still going to be responsible for taking care of the children. So I think because people know whether they do it or not, we're going to take care of their children, that some people can take that for granted. But I think most parents are doing the best that they can and would love to be able to take care of their children, but really are not able, or the state feels that they're not able and they have to be removed.
Good morning.
Caller, go ahead.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
To all the listeners. Now, I called just to give some information. I taught at Irisham School for 5 years. Where I met, and then I grew up in the village, so, you know, village people in and out of the children home. Not living there, but playing with the children. Now, the name Neverson. I live on Neverson Street East. And I don't think they're really getting enough recognition.
What? We always talk about Millie
Neverson is the
Neverson
person
and
who
her penny
started the
scheme.
children. Are you with me?
We always talk about Millie and her penny scheme.
Hello?
Hi.
Can you hear her?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I said we often speak about Millie and the penny scheme. She's who started the children's home. We're very proud of the history of the children's home.
Because some people say, oh, we got to change in the name of the street then. Millicent Neverson, she lived in Fort Lands, you know?
Yes.
And even before the home, she used to taking children off the street into a home in Fort Lands, which was the upper class, if you want to call it so. And she and a group of ladies got together, and they started the children home. Sometimes I say, when we think we need to draw the attention, maybe even study children the name, where Neverson come from. Neverson come from, they are the people who started the St. Christopher Children's Home. I just wanted to interject that.
Thank you.
And somebody called in and said that didn't know started it.
No.
It was
Millie Neverson.
Hello?
It was Millie Neverson.
Yes, you must mention it.
You know, I'm glad that you actually mentioned it to me too, because...
And tell them there's a street in Newtown now in Panside, because they have
Neverson
Neverson Street East and Neverson Street West. They were named after the founder of the children's home.
Yes.
That's what I call for.
I'm glad you mentioned it because, you know, I do the hosting, and I'm going to make sure to really talk, I think, maybe this year a little bit more about Millie so people really understand the history of the
I have a
home.
whole thing. When I was researching my book,
Yes.
I got, yes.
Oh, what is your book?
Hello?
What's your book called?
It is called Welcome to the Village.
Oh, nice.
Cover the period from the start of the village up to 1970.
Oh, I'd love a copy of that book. Okay, so I'll definitely be mentioning it, so thank you for pointing that out,
Yes,
because
mention
we know
it.
the history
I
and we
tell them
talk about
look, so
it.
the next time you pass Neverson Street, East and West, it was named after the person who started. And tell the children down there too.
I will make sure. We do talk to them
Okay,
about
God
Millie,
bless
but I
you.
will make sure.
Okay.
And you know, it's so glad that you spoke about that, because I think that people don't always look at the civic responsibility. People think, oh, it's an activity, but, you know, we don't put a lot of, I guess, onus on us as citizens and what we can do to help. The Children's Home is a great example of that, because without citizens, the Children's Home would not run. But I think that sometimes we need to put more emphasis. We put a lot of emphasis on government and how government can help, etc. But also, I think as citizens, people really just start things because they care. Like, I also work with the ACF and the children's home. The children's, like I told you, the board is people just show up because they care, you know,
Well,
put the work in because they
what
care.
struck me, what she said there, is she said that people are suggesting changing the name. And I'm thinking there are certain names that should not be changed. If this name is linked with the founder, it is incumbent on the people who are a part of the association to always remind of the validity and the importance of the name so that people don't come up and say, well, you need to change and change, because from what I've heard in this short little sitting, this name should stay a part of the children home.
But the children home isn't just the St. Christopher and Nevis Children Home?
It's just the St. Christopher
Yeah, it doesn't
Children's
have a
Home.
name.
It doesn't have
so
a
if
name
they
in
do
it.
put a name,
That would be the change.
that would be the change.
Yeah, so actually they named it that. We never changed the
Yeah,
name.
no name.
That's just what it was always called.
Oh,
and
so
we
that is
never
why.
changed it.
So that is why then. Okay. So then maybe there should be a move down the line for it to be changed to the individual who founded it. Then.
Well, I will take that consideration to the board and to
Okay.
the public, because the children's home is really part of the community. As she said, her book is about the village. It's part of the community.
Yeah.
And we actually have tried, like, over the years, how can we engage? Kids will come and play. We think about, like, the safety of our children, but also we like to encourage. We have a lovely property. We like the kids to be outside. We like people to visit. A lot of groups come, and we want our children to always feel part of the community. One of the things I think that's also changed about the home is the stigma. People used to be able to always pick out the children from the children's home.
Yeah.
Now you could not tell the children from the children's home in your primary school, your high school. Sometimes the children, people say, wow, you guys did that? We say, yeah, we know, we all went to Marshall's. We did a class in etiquette, you know. They say, you did that? Yes, because we want our kids, if we're going to be taking them out to places, to feel comfortable in places, you know. So it's important that they're coming to the home and they're leaving the home not just safe, but in a better position than when they came into the home.
You have another call.
Yeah, it's always been a...
Caller, go ahead.
Yeah, Quinn.
Yes.
Jump down here again. I don't think it's wise to change the name. What should be happening is that we should get a bus right in the front of the yard down there with the nurse. And all who contribute.
But jam down.
But the nurse especially should be in a bus, and you got pictures of all who contribute and walk down there in a big way. But the name should not be changed.
Jam down.
I hope
jam
that
down.
somebody would donate that bus jam down, because I can't afford the bus. Without the kids getting-
Jam,
doing things as they like and give away money as they like.
jam down. From the information we just got from Sylvine, I'm not clear because I don't know much of the history of the children home. Even though as a young boy, I lived I lived just next to the children home. Where I lived, the fence from the children home was right there, so I could look from where we lived into the yard of the children home. That's in Chavelga. But from what I've gathered, Sylvine is saying that this nurse you're speaking about is not, she may have been a part of it, but she's not, am I mistaken? She's not the founder?
No, he had one before where Sylvie was talking about.
Yes.
But the one we're speaking about, she's who carried on.
I hear you.
We know that, Quinn. But the one where I'm speaking about, she is who carried on when he was there after the first lady passed.
Yes.
You understand? And we got to get the history right. And the manager who is in studio now, she must be talking more about these things.
That is what Sylvine was
Should
suggesting.
comprise of people who is a little elder than these young people who want to put the
I hear you. I am not, just to correct you, I am not the manager of the children's home. I am a member of the children's home board. We do have a manager.
Okay.
And I will have you know that the children's home board is comprised of people as young as, I would say probably 42 is the youngest, maybe in the early 40s, and our eldest is late 60s. So I just want you to know, we do have retirees on the children's home board. It's not just young people on the children's home board. I think our oldest member is in their late 60s.
But anyway,
so
by passing and what I have been saying,
you.
And you all is managing well. So
Thank you.
Kudos to you all. Congrats.
Thank
and
you.
keep it going. Because I don't contribute in the only small way.
I hope
You
I'm going to see
understand?
you at the walk.
And we want to give you the praise and the strength by the will of the God to continue the good work.
Amen.
Okay? So,
Yes. I hope that we'll see you at the walk on Saturday. I hope we'll see you at the walk on Saturday.
Well, me work schedule, and you know, well, I wouldn't even mind sending down $20 to contribute, but the work is important because I'm an icon. I'm the people's talker in this country.
Thank
and
you.
I gotta solve here and solve there and solve there for salary. You understand?
Yeah.
Because people feel like they could just take people work like that, but warning them, you know, to behave themselves with poor people, you know. Do not let it sting your heart, you know. Because when you put on more wood on and the fire, you get hot.
Now remember, it's for the children.
And Quinn.
Yes.
Keep on doing the good work for this country and the poor people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, so since we've been speaking so much about the history, January 26th will make 75 years for the home.
Wow.
Yeah, a long time.
The upcoming January?
Yeah, January
Okay.
26, 1950.
So we're going
is
to have
when
a
we
big ball?
started. I hope we're going to do something nice. We'd love to have a big charity event.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So that we could raise some funds, but also bring attention. So I'm really glad for all of the callers and the information they're sharing, so we can include that in our celebrations for our 75-year anniversary.
Okay, anything else to add before we close
Yeah,
out?
I want people to come to the walk. You know, it's going to be Saturday, as we know, this Saturday. It's at the Royal St. Kitts Golf Course. You don't have to have your tickets in advance, but you can buy your tickets in advance. You can get your tickets there. Registration begins at 2:30. Nobody comes to the Children's Home Walk with their shirt on. You get your shirt at the Children's Home Walk. So if you do come with your shirt on, it means you didn't get your shirt right. The cost is $60 for adults and $30 for children between 6 and 12. And of course, children under 6 are free. Please just walk with your pushchairs, not your bicycles, your skateboards, your those things.
Rollerblades.
Your rollerblades. We like to highlight our sponsors and thank them, but come to the event so you can find out. Of course, as usual, we have help from Marriott, 869 to go. We have several new sponsors that are coming on board. We want to thank Evolution HD. Every year, they give us free DJ services. Come in and dance, have a little fun with your families. You can also log on to 869 to go for promotions. For orders on 869 to go for a chance to win free tickets. This year we'll also again have the Play Zone, which is sponsored by Lucid. Thank you very much for coming out to support us, V. Lucid always comes out and does the face painting and play area for the kids, which they love. The raffle, don't forget to bring your money, $5 a chance. This year we've got some appliances, we got a 55-inch TV, some gift vouchers, a little cash. And of course, the parking at the children's home can be a lot. Nobody wants to get all the way out to the Marriott, but we do have free transportation, a shuttle from the fire station and the Sands complex that starts at 2:30 p.m. Please follow us on Facebook and on Instagram, St. Christopher Children's Home, and as I said, our number 465-4007 and 766-4007. I'm going to come back to talk to you one day about our agriculture program because we do also sell vegetables out of our garden. Yeah, our children help to grow our garden. We are trying to teach them skills and how to be sustainable. So they do have their own garden. So we really thank everybody in the community who always comes out, and we encourage you. I know some people think, oh, the children's home again, but honestly, I think sometimes that's what hurts us. They'll say, oh, the children's home, everybody helps the children's home, but it's actually not true. And this walk is what really mainly helps the children's home. So we just ask people to come out in their numbers. The more people that are there, the better. And it also reminds the children that the community cares about them and that they're part of the community, and they love it. So they leave that event feeling really warm and loved and cared for and safe. And we just want our kids to feel warm and loved and cared for and safe. Yes. So we're very thankful for everybody who supports the home. Of course, our partnership with the government of St. Kitts and Nevis and social development and the PCPS officers who we work with. And we're just really grateful for the work and the community and the sense of giving back.
All right. So thank you for coming in. And
I'll see you on
enlightening us.
Saturday.
No, I have to work. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to have to miss this one too.
Oh, I'm
so
sad.
it's my second one I have to miss. Yeah,
Oh.
me too. because I needed my shirts, but maybe I can get my shirts out of ways. So
Maybe I could do a little thing for you and get you a shirt in the background.
That's so sweet. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. Well, have fun on the walk, and don't forget to let them know Millie started it all.
Millie started it all. I will not forget to let them know. And don't forget the walk starts sharp at 4 p.m. So please get there to start registering at 2:30. Also want to thank, there'll also be health checks. We always have health checks. Usually by Ross helps us, and also the Windsor.
Windsor, yeah.
And
UMHS.
UMHS have always supported us, and so we really appreciate our volunteers that come out to support our kids, not just during the walk, but throughout the year. So very grateful for that. Thank you for having us.
We have a caller. That's it. Okay, caller, go ahead. Last call for Naima.
Oh, yes. Quick question. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning, bro.
I want to ask the lady from the home, what do the children do for school? Are they schooled on the inside of the home, or they got to go externally?
They go to school externally.
That's it, man. And good luck with that walk. Thanks.
Thank you. Our children actually go to school, to their regular schools. They go to all the schools in the community. You can't tell who the children are, but they go to school. They get dropped to school and picked up from school. If they're close enough, they walk home together. So they just move like a family. We're a family in the home. But they do go to the local schools. We don't. We try to make their lives as normal as possible, because it's already very traumatic to be removed from your home or to be separated from your family. So we really try to do the best to normalize that for them. But yeah, so they go to the regular schools. That's a very good question. Thank you for asking.
Alrighty, well, this is where we close it off. Thank you, and enjoy the walk on Saturday. And I wish I was there, but I'll be there in spirit.
You'll be there in spirit, and we'll see you next year.
Yeah,
and we'll see you at whatever fundraiser we have in January to celebrate our 75 years.
75th, Indeed.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean. Keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust to secure your investment. You need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
The holidays just got a whole lot brighter with the new $5 Holiday Stash scratch ticket. It's easy to play, packed with $1,000 prizes and many chances for you to win big this holiday season. So go ahead, treat yourself, spread some cheer, and stack some cash. Play Holiday Stash today at Caribbean Lottery agents and vending machines island-wide. Must be 21 years and older to play. Please play responsibly.
And we're back on Island Tea, just about 9:35 in the a.m. And as Naima said, forgot to mention, so I'm going to mention it on her behalf, where you can get your tickets. So you can get your tickets at the Royal Beach Casino, Four Ways Restaurant, that's in the Circus, and Harper's, as well as Jad. So get your tickets so you can attend and support the children home. And as the slogan says, lace up for a cause.
You have a caller.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T.
Hi, good morning. Is there a guest in your studio?
No. The guest, that
Okay.
segment is gone.
Thank you. Good morning, Hortensia. Good morning, Quinn.
Good morning.
Good day.
How are you doing today?
I'm giving thanks. There are three ships in the town. There was 4 yesterday. And it's not that I've forsaken the radio station, WinFM, the #1 radio station. No, I have not. I have tried repeatedly yesterday to get in, but to no avail. So I'm going to take this opportunity to say what I wanted to say. Quinn,
Yeah.
I always used to say that the BBCs and the CNN and the Fox and all those, media broadcasting services has lived out their usefulness, and there's new media, social media, there's local media, and media where people get their voices out to really have their own say on matters. Case in point, a matter in Nevis that came to our fore, and even though we speculated, for now, the Nevisians has caught on to these ordinary media. We wasn't going to hear it on CNN, the international media. We, in our own little corner, has gotten the message out to the Nevisian and the petition public. And I think, even though we still got to keep our guards up, I think the Nevisian public has caught the gist of the matter, the propensity, the magnitude of what would really erode their inheritance with that SSC project. So I say that to say that there are also matters on St. Kitts of the same magnitude and even more. You asked a question to a gentleman that called in on the radio yesterday, trying to get a hold on our present administration. The Jew-led administration has gone back to the IMF. Because from your end, you don't want to speculate.
Yeah.
I can speculate because I'm on this end over here.
Yeah.
And sometimes our speculations are correct. I got this information by having a conversation with Socrates when he was on Monday.
Well,
and he's the one who disclosed it to me.
He's the one who disclosed it, and I asked him if he could sort of validate it, and he said, well, yes, because he said he saw it in some news thing. And I said it, and then Mr. McMahon, he queried just like I did. He said, are you sure? And I told him who I had gotten it from. But because Mr. McMahon is someone who should be fair about these things, and he was not, I began to question whether it was really valid. And so I said, then from hence I would then say it is alleged. But I also decided I would desist from pushing it since I was unsure. But then Jam Down called and he said, Quint, you need to talk about it. And I said to him, but I cannot speak on something that I am not fully aware of how valid it is. And then Greg called in today and he said he went to the IMF site and looked on the loan and outstanding things to do with St. Kitts and Nevis, and he saw none. So that means that is, as far as we understand right now, it is not true.
Yes, let's hope that's not the case.
Yes.
Because if it becomes the case, and we hope not, I think the onus is on any prime minister, like Mayor Motley has went, and she went to IMF and she gave a disclosure to the nation as to the reasons why she had gone there. Even that. But for the fact that when the Team Unity administration demitted office, Dr. Timothy Harris disclosed that he left a figure somewhere in the 800 million area after he had paid $80 million to finish off with the IMF. I always tell people, IMF will always give advice because we are members of such institutions, financial institutions and otherwise, like United Nations and IMF and World Bank. I think we paid dues to be a part of some of those institutions. So if they have advice, yes, but we will scrutinize their advice and to see if their advice is warranted towards what we want to, as a nation, what would become had we take those advice. Would it be retrospective? Would it be, counterproductive, so to speak, were we to take on these advice on board? Because IMF is not an easy institution to have borrowed money from, because you will start to see, well, why is the workforce has been shrunk, has been cut, not knowing that IMF would have advised to do such. Why we are experiencing new taxes. Why? The question would be why? But it would be down to the austerities measures from IMF, which we will have to implement because we borrowed the monies. I think when Timothy Harris paid off the money, that would be a last resort for any government. Government in the Caribbean, they get away with a lot of things on the people. They get away with a lot of things on the people. I recall when Prime Minister Dr. Denzel Douglas was there, and when we heard about the figures that, every citizen will have to pay back to be on level, to come out of the hole, and then figure that every citizen would be endowed with this would be your burden. Even unborn children will have to be born and have to pay back this bill. It is not a nice thought to entertain, to run into the IMF when it can be avoided. And don't tell me in 3 years, after 3 years, this administration would have gone to IMF. It cannot happen. It cannot happen. The flamboyant tree was cut in the circus. And the ignoramus and the ignorancy of some people, guys that I talk to, they don't cut the tree, so what are you going to do? Here is it, the nation. We need to plant more trees. And you're cutting trees indiscriminately, not because they are overhead wires. You're cutting trees where you would have walked in the town and see the elderly having a shade from their errands in the town. And you would just want to go and cut the tree without any thought. Leaders are leaders, but leaders need eyes and ears of the nation so that they can see farther and they can hear better. And if leaders were to reject the good advice of the nation, not just one or two advisors, but the pulse of the people, similar to what is happening over at Nevis, when Matt Brantley had to say the ayes have it, when the majority of persons said no, that is when the last straw broke the camel back over at Nevis. So having reached and gotten over that hurdle in Nevis, I want to concentrate on St. Kitts, because it is said that the waters that have been tested, if it were to happen on Nevis, they have their eyes on St. Kitts also. And for the life of me, we have gotten off with the Southeastern Peninsula and that project over there. Okay? So social media and ordinary voices doesn't have to get approval from BBC and Fox and CNN. But we will continue to let our voices be heard for the betterment of this nation and for the unborn children. Thanks for listening, Quint.
Okay.
Thank you for your
You
contribution,
take care.
caller.
Thanks for your input. The time is 9:45. We've got about 15 more minutes. I saw the lines blinking a while ago, but okay, so we're back. Hello, caller.
Hello, caller. You still there?
Yes. Hello, yes. I'm still here. Current just gone in my area, so I haven't heard a certain portion of your program. So
What area
has
are
been
you?
said-
What area are you in?
Middle Island.
Middle Island.
Middle Island, yes.
Okay.
You remember just the other day I tell current went?
Yeah, current seems to be going on quite frequently up there, and it's
Mhm.
and it's rather frustrating for us because we put on our transmitter yesterday. It was working good, and this morning I get up, it's off, and that means current went off in that area.
And them things could damage your appliances and your electrical equipment and so on.
Well, we have
Constant.
we have a protector. We recently put a surge protector in there, and that should protect that. But the problem is when the transmitter goes off, we have to go back up to put it on, and we have to pay money to go up there every time. I mean, so it's a bit frustrating.
Yeah, so if your area, if that area is affected, then you have to prepare your mind to go back up there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
Imagine we just paid yesterday to go up there to put it on, and it's off again today. So you understand the frustration?
These are things that cripples economy when you don't have reliable supply of energy,
Yeah.
including electricity.
Yes.
It cripples the economy. People look at these things simpler, but these things
aren't
have
simple.
far-reaching consequences. No?
Definitely, far-reaching consequences.
Economically and so on, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quint, I will. So what I called in to say is that, and like I said, I haven't heard, so I don't know what was said before this call, but let me say this. The U.S. is using the drugs issue with Venezuela as an excuse. We all know that the real reason why they're doing the nonsense and evil is because of the oil.
Yeah.
Okay?
And
It's not because
that is why I was a bit irritated with the one of the callers who kept suggesting all the time that, well, if they have to come down to make peace. And it was annoying because these are individuals who are pushing to be elected and be in government. And I want these people to be aware of what is happening to the extent that they don't try to compromise for people who don't have your interests at heart. Because
that is true.
My irritation is this. Let's say I am one who is saying I want you to vote for me come the next election, and I'm going to replace the present regime. And then I'm coming and saying, well, the U.S. all they really want to do, if they really want to bring peace, and we as the Caribbean leaders should get together and push peace. I don't want to hear that because we know we're well aware of what their agenda is and what they're doing. And then he uses this example and says, well, if you have two boys fighting and then you got to come and make peace, and people who don't know the story would think, oh yeah, he's making sense. But I said, okay, so you have two boys fighting, and someone says they're going to come and part, but then they look at one of the boys who happens to be Quint, and you say Quint has jugs. So how are you parting the fight?
You can't. You can't. And the U.S. is hell bent on getting there. So what you could say to the U.S., what any of the Caribbean people could say to the U.S. to make peace, when the U.S. is hell bent.
That's what I'm
One
saying.
way or the other, by the hook or the cook to get the oil.
All our leaders can do is in a unified get together and say we don't want this. And if the U.S. pushes forward and it does what it does, history records again, here in this modern world and era, see they're still continuing their hegemony.
Yeah, all you could do is condemn it, speak out against it.
That's all we can do.
But do not think that the U.S. is in for the U.S. in front of the U.S. in for the oil.
Yeah.
But let me say this though, and that's why I always see the wisdom of the Bible as I grow more and more in the faith of the Word of God by His Spirit and by His grace. Maduro okay, arming his people just before an emergency is not good enough. Okay? People need years of getting to know the weapons and getting to master the weapons.
But Greg, that is what I said. I said people are unaware that the majority of Venezuelans are military trained. It's part of the socialist system. Then, you understand? Even when you go to Cuba, even when you go to Cuba to do a degree, let's say you go to Cuba to do medicine or you go to Cuba to do engineering, you know that part of it you're going to have to study. You're going to have to study political science, and from their perspective, that's how they are.
Okay.
So you're saying these people are trained and they're basically reserved. So if need be, they call them up.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what socialist systems do.
Yeah, but not only do your people need to be trained, your people need to be in constant use of the weapons. Because you could be trained, but you could get rusty if you ain't in constant train. You rust go on your ability.
I hear you, but we don't live in a perfect world, and you have to do what you have to do when you have to do it.
And this is why I see every day the wisdom of the Bible. When the Bible let us know that God has not given any government the authority to disarm anybody. People must be able to freely bear and carry arms as they choose to, okay? And be able to practice continually with the weapons, whether it be a target in sight, whatever. And lastly, I would like to say that when the people of Israel was going into the promised land, God was taking them. God told the people of Israel, do not make any covenant, treaty, agreement, whatever, with the people of the land, because that covenant, treaty, whatever you make with them, will be as near unto you. And it was God's intention to set up Israel. I think it's Deuteronomy chapter 3, I think it is in, as a model example of what it is to follow the word of God. And he told them, hey, if you follow my word and do what I say, the people would praise your wisdom, which is the word of God instructing you. I said that to say this. The Bible instructs that, hey, do not make any covenant, treaty, whatever, with the other nations. If we were following the Bible and not making these treaties and that sort of stuff that we are in that are near to us, a destruction to us, we would not have been in these problems we are today. And so I believe if a person is a true man of God, filled with the word of God by the Spirit, and he's the leader of a nation, he will not be getting in these snares by becoming a part of IMF, World Bank, United Nations, you name it. With all due respect, OECS, you name them all. Because the Bible instructs, do not make any covenant or anything like that with other nations, because they would, in the end, God will use them as a snare unto you. And we see in the Bible as well, where God has even used the few who was with God to defeat the many. The greatest example, Gideon, for example. The greatest example, but there are many others.
We have another caller, Greg, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So let me say something quick, Quint, and then I'm going to go. So we see that our hope lies within the Bible, following the Bible, having a man, two men of God leading us, and doing, for example, not making any agreement, treaties, covenant, whatever, with other nations. God is our sustainer and helper. Let's look to God only and not to man and man's wisdom. Thank you, Quint. Appreciate it. So sad I'm not going to hear what the other caller said.
Okay.
But that is it.
Yeah, okay then. Hello, caller.
Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, Quint, I got a little frustrated this morning.
Yeah, well, it happens a lot, but I'm a tough enough person.
Actually, I understand. I understand exactly how you feel, right? Because one of the unfortunate things about how we approach things here, we always try to be contrary to conventional wisdom. We always try to be nice and diplomatic.
Yeah.
And you always have to
compromise
massage the egos of people before we actually be critical. I've noticed that a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a drawback of mine in the sense that they always say, well, you're always critical and you're too negative. My approach to this really is pretty much like how it was in teaching. You correct what's wrong.
Yeah.
You pay more attention to what's wrong, what a student would get wrong, rather than what he got right. If you got something right, you got it right.
That's it. Yeah.
Right.
That is
if
why
you got it wrong.
That is why we used to hear the phrase the teacher says, "Do it over and over until you get it right."
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. That's what you concentrate on.
Yeah.
And certainly I could understand that kindergarten level and so on. You have to pay attention to the little kids' egos and so on. You don't want to hurt their feelings. You give them marks for just showing up and that kind of thing. At this level, however, is a whole new kettle of fish.
Yeah.
Right? This is a whole new ball game. This is big people thing, as they would say.
Definitely.
Okay? With big consequences. And you should not be massaging people's egos and trying to be overly diplomatic and so on, right? Get to the point. In this particular case, where the U.S. the U.S. is clearly the one who has escalated this.
Yeah.
Okay? Because it wasn't that they never used to have drug interdiction before. Every now and again you'd hear these big cocaine busts.
It has been an ongoing thing.
The British and the Dutch navies intercepting thing in the Caribbean and so on. So it's an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
But the escalation came when you start putting the kind of assets that the U.S. put in there, and deciding that they're gonna just eliminate these small boats.
And Mr. McMahon, look at the audacity. They're now putting pressure on the leader of Grenada, right? And saying, well, we have this suggestion and we're looking for a time. Look, he didn't create this. You come and create this out of nowhere, and now you're putting pressure on the man for something that shouldn't have existed in the first place. And then people in our proximity who are supposed to be our neighbors are going to be saying, well, he should say yeah or nay. The man is between a rock and a hard place. Let the rest of the Caribbean, as you have been saying, let them come together as one. Let him be with them and say no. Then it makes it easier for him. You could see he's trying his best, but he's come on. This is where unity is important.
Of course. And to just like how they can show us the pictures, the intelligence with the boats and the crosshairs, and then they're exploding. It's obvious that they've been tracking them. They can track them.
Yeah.
They can interdict them as well. They can arrest them. But this heavy-handed thing of just blowing them out the water. I don't understand how leaders in our areas could just look at that and
then
try to be diplomatic and say, come straight out and say this is against international law.
Yes.
You don't do that. Even in the U.S. itself, even in Congress. You have, and the Senate, they have people with reservations against this, wondering if what they're doing is right.
And what makes it worse?
We down here, who are right in the thick of things, and just stay quiet on it?
Yeah, and what makes it worse, Mr. McMahon, is that the few people who survive, you send them home. So what does that say? Huh? It means you have no evidence.
And that's what I'm saying, and that's why I could.
But do we have proof that those persons that they said will be released, were they released?
Yes, because we heard the people say, like their families and so say they got. We heard them. We saw pictures. Yeah.
Where was it? San Salvador, or there were two countries.
Yeah.
That they released them to. But that's why I understand how you felt when the People's Action
Movement
spokesman was talking, because he wanted to have it both ways.
Yeah, you can't.
You know? No, there are some things that you just have to call a spade a spade.
And what annoyed me is that, like, sometimes people feel I'm a bit harsh, but I have to be harsh because just like I am with Mr. Welcome, you're saying you want to be a leader. So this is
I'm saying.
This is the way you're going to lead?
At this level, this is not the level where you apply the softly kind of thing. When other people are applying a big stick.
Big stick to your head.
You know? and so I quite understand. I mean, we go overboard with this. Well, make sure you encourage them, or you compliment them before you get into the nitty-gritty of what you really want to say, which is you're messing up here.
Yeah, you're
You know,
messing up.
I don't agree with that. That's for a particular level, like I said, kindergarten level.
Yeah.
When you're at this level, where what you say and do have consequences, you know, you should adjust to suit.
Yeah, I agree.
And so all these leaders who tiptoeing and so on, that's a waste of time. And don't tell me that they're applying pressure behind the scenes, that they can come out and talk about it. The United States is not hesitant in coming out and saying exactly what they're doing.
You see those clips? You see those clips I was playing yesterday. I didn't get to play much of them, but I'm going to continue, because you're going to hear these men speak and say, we continuously acquiesce to people who don't have our interests at heart. We have to stop doing that.
Yeah, we do that. We do that too much. You know, I mean, I heard the Prime Minister yesterday. He was on another radio station talking about. Yeah, we basically he's saying we're promoting a zone of peace, and we're asking our friends in Venezuela to be what shall we say, judicious in what they're doing, and we're asking the United States to be the same.
Yeah.
In other words, you always have to be this.
That's
this
what
balance.
You understand? When there isn't a balance, it's one person pushing. Yeah.
Right? And it was so clear, for instance, in the Israeli-Hamas thing.
Yeah.
Where you can't criticize Israel and say the response was disproportionate.
No.
You come straight out and say that there it's against humanitarian law.
Yes.
What they're doing is actually starving children and that kind of thing.
And killing people indiscriminately.
You can't come straight out and say that is wrong.
You have to
without saying that, well, Hamas was wrong for October 7th.
You understand?
Two different things altogether. You know, wrong is wrong no matter when it is done and who did it. Okay? And so, yes, both should be condemned, but you can't use one wrong to justify another wrong.
Yeah.
Okay? And the impression given was that, well, you have to walk this tightrope. It's not every time you have to be walking on ice and coming out and calling a spade a spade.
Yeah.
We have to get beyond that. We do that too much here.
That's like
saying... As if we were afraid that, well, if we don't say that you're nice, you did this right, give credit to you for this, we have to say that as a preamble to what you're messing up here.
But here's an example. That is like saying back in the days when our foreparents were being robbed and raped and hung and every despicable thing, you're saying that our foreparents should come to the master and say, but master, you're doing us wrong, and we're going to try to be a better slave, and we expect you to be nice to us, rather than burning some plantations and that kind of stuff. You got to do what you got to do.
Exactly. Right? We go overboard with this niceness thing. I don't understand it at all. you know.
Okay.
Let them. I mean, it's obvious, for instance, that yes, the government, for instance, now has been doing some good things, right? And they don't hesitate to point them out.
No.
So it isn't that people won't know what they are, but they're not going to point out the bad thing.
No.
So somebody else have to do it.
That's it.
Okay? Nothing could be more balanced than that, I find. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we've.
By the way.
Yes.
By the way. This is an aside.
Yes.
I was in town yesterday. Yesterday, I think it was, and I noticed that some of the tour buses were carrying tourists down College Street Gut, turning down from Kearn Street into College Street Gut, I guess to get to the Bay Road.
Yeah.
And I suspect it's because if they turn down Church Street, I don't think they could turn right at the end of the road.
I'm not sure because
Right?
I don't drive, so I'm
Oh,
not sure
okay.
of it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Oh.
But Church Street, I think, is a far more important street, than College Street Gut.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I find that they
Kinda
should make some accommodations for
interesting.
that.
Yes,
That,
I hear you.
As well as I also heard, the tour guide, the driver, he had a PA system, saying that when he reached to the bottom of Church Street, College Street, to turn onto Kearn Street, to turn on to the Bay Road, saying, and that building over there, that's owned by the Chinese. Just like all over the rest of the Caribbean, the Chinese are taking over here.
Wow.
I don't know if that's appropriate.
That's not, no.
I'm telling tourists, some of whom may be Chinese.
I mean, come on.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Well. I've heard some very interesting things from some of the taxi men. Would you believe one time I heard a taxi man, he didn't have a PA system, but he was cruising rather slowly, and he was saying to his white guests, he passed and he saw some young women, and he said to his white guests, "You see those girls there? If you want, you can get them. Just show them a few US dollars." And yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, and then you think that you're an ambassador for your country? And this is what you won't believe some of the things that these people say.
It's amazing. It's amazing. But one good thing that I've noticed came out, that they're having this 4-island thing with Statia, Sabre, St. Martin, and St. Kitts.
Yes.
The Makayana Ferry. Yeah. I think they should do the same thing with Airlift.
Yeah.
Because, take advantage of the fact that we're so close.
Yeah.
And have packages that, you go to one island, you can easily go to the other.
Yeah.
I guess that's the next.
I hope so. Yeah.
Level. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Take care. And that's how we bring an end to
today's edition of Island Tea, and we'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 for Friday's edition.
Okay.
To end the week.
Care.
Have a good one.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Right time, right ride, right now at Horsefoots Automotive. Buy now or reserve for VAT discount days. Friday, December 12th and Saturday, December 20th. And get our lowest rates ever. Plus, enjoy up to $17,000 on select models. No VAT and no down payment.